Good evening and welcome to our 36th virtual prayer meeting. My name is Doug Hornock and I'm the pastor at Mid-Valley Bible Church. If you've been a Christian for any length of time, you've seen an explosion of change taking place in the church. Those changes have been massive and in some cases very substantive. Styles of music and worship are different. The governance of churches has been greatly altered. Many churches are run more like an IBM company than the body of Christ. Preaching styles, as well as how pastors have dressed, has changed dramatically. The way buildings are constructed, they're more like a theater than they are a worship center. Times of services have altered and changed, and some of these have been good, and candidly, others I've struggled with. 2 weeks ago, I read an interesting article entitled "The Woke Pastor," and God save us from the woke pastor. And the opening paragraph read as follows: the skinny jeans, the non-functional glasses, the spray tans, the tight muscle shirts, the obscene shopping bill at Nordstrom's, and the social justice sermons more fitting for the faculty lounge at Wellesley than for a Bible-believing church. Behold the woke pastor, and he's gunning for your white privilege and ready to tackle America's systemic racism, one vegan protein shake at a time. Now, I'm not going to go beyond that article, but it was a very interesting one and at times quite humorous. I sent it to my 4 children. They read it, loved it. In fact, we discussed it at length during our time together last week. And if you're listening and would like me to send you a copy of it, just email me. But it reminded me that times indeed are changing. And at times I feel like a dinosaur. Another area of change has been the incredible increase in the number of Bible translations that are available. When I started Bible college back in 1971, there were only 2 or 3 reliable and accepted translations of the Bible. Most translations that were accepted were, of course, the King James and the New American Standard Bible. But today there are about 30 you can get your hands on, and you can do so for free because of Bible apps and smartphones and computers. You don't have to buy them. They're right there at your fingertips. And as I was comparing the various translations of the Lord's Prayer, I was admittedly quite pleased to discover that the next phrase I want us to look at in the Lord's Prayer, or more accurately, the disciples' prayer, has been preserved the way the 1611 King James Bible translated it. It says, "Our Father, who is in heaven, hallowed be your name," or "hallowed is your name." The word hallowed is an old archaic English word, and it means to make holy. We talk about ground being sacred and hallowed. Places like Normandy, France, where the invasion of Europe took place on D-Day that marked the beginning of the end of Hitler's Germany. Or Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, which turned to be a turning point in the Civil War, where between 46 and 51,000 soldiers were casualties in that 3-day battle, the most costly battle in U.S. history. And because God is already holy, you and I can't make him any more holy. But what Jesus is saying here is, I want your prayers first and foremost to attribute to God reverence, honor, respect, and esteem. I want you to obey him as singularly perfect. One man wrote that God's name should be hallowed was nothing other than saying that God should have his own honor, of which he was so worthy. That men should never speak of him without the greatest veneration. As I mentioned last Thursday, I can't imagine an Old or New Testament saint ever referring to God as the big man upstairs or calling him his best buddy. His name, his person, is to be revered, respected. It is to be hallowed. Now, I want to talk more about that next time, but with that simple reminder as a foundation, let's now go to prayer.